Okay, greetings. How's it?
Right.
How are
Yeah,
you
man.
guys doing today? It's good to be back. We're back with another MMD chat. It's been quite some time since we've actually had one of these, and ironically enough, the last time we had one of these awesome chats was with the band that we've got back today. A little bit of news, a little bit of info to share. So yeah, today we joined with members of Orphean Passage. We've got familiar faces, Malcolm, who's lead guitarist. Got
One of two
we've just
guitarists.
line up to Patrick. Unfortunately, can't be here, but he's actually been replaced by frontman and vocalist Ryan. And yeah, we have songwriter and bassist Justin back again. So how's it going, guys? Great to see you guys again.
Good to have you on the show.
Good to see you, Lyle. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess let's actually start right at the top, and we'll go with the guy who was pretty much the brainchild of this project. We've got Justin here. And yeah, Justin, maybe you'd be kind enough to maybe just give us a little bit of a breakdown on the genesis of the name Orphean Passage.
So, first of all, we're a doom metal band for those that aren't familiar with our work. And with that comes a lot of the usual tropes that associated with our genre of loss and melancholy and tragedy. These sort of really strong, powerful emotions that fit the genre. And one of the most moving stories that was stuck with me growing up was the tale of Orpheus and Eurydice, and Orpheus' journey as he enters down into the underworld to try and retrieve his love, and the tragic tale of that. And that was a strong inspiration to us with the name Orphean Passage.
Well, no, yeah, so good breakdown there. I guess, yeah. Let's actually hit this one up to vocalist Ryan here. I guess we've had the band on in many forms over the last couple of years, with the slow growth there since the inception of the actual project of Orphean Passage. You guys have had a chance to play quite a few gigs. Been obviously testing out a lot of new material every gig, all the aesthetics and the visuals that go with it. So, Ryan, in your opinion, compared to when you guys first started with this idea that Justin pitched you guys with, to where you guys are now, how's the chemistry in the band since the inception?
Oh man. Yeah. What a journey it's been. Hey, it's coming up to 10 years. We're at the end of 2023, and I was living in the UK for about 5 months in 2014. So 9 years ago, 9.5, because it was must have been around March 2014 when Biggie Justin first sent me the MIDI export of the Guitar Pro file for Adorned at Midnight, which is the first song on the album. And a world away, but it's evolved in a direction that I think can mostly be described as fleshing out what that idea was at the time. We fleshed it out into a full band, we fleshed it out into a full album, we fleshed it out into live performances, and that's where we're at this point. Is, you know, we've just finished this debut album, which has taken all of these 9 years. If we look at it in total, that traverses several band names that we've been under as well. It's actually Orphean Passage is I think the third name, right?
Yeah.
Since the inception. But
First one that really stuck.
It is the first one that stuck, and it's been this way for a long time now. But we're at this point now, 9 years later, and ready to share it with the world.
Yeah, well, we've been waiting. Well, I guess with that in mind, I'm going to actually hit up Malcolm with this. The album has been a long process, lot of time and effort and blood, sweat, and tears gone into it. How's the process been for you through this? I mean, can you give us any insight into any of the preamps, the guitars that were maybe used?
Well, let's start with the overall. It's been obviously a very, very long labor of love, as befits the whole Doom thing. Personally, I'm not a fan of studio work. I find it, I'd much rather be on stage, honestly. But yeah, gear-wise, use the same guitars I use normally. Obviously, the tracking was done in a more sort of efficient way than massive stacks of cabs and 600 mics in a great big open hall. But you'd have to speak to our engineer for all the secrets behind our sound.
Any information as to who the engineer was for this offering?
A close friend of ours who is lots of experience.
Nice. Well said. So yeah, I guess we'll actually hit this back to Ryan. In terms of the studio process for you, how was the whole recording process? How long did it take for you to track your vocals, for example? How's the process been for you?
So I can't help but laugh because your question reminded me of a story that I feel I should probably tell here. It's relevant. So I recorded all the vocals right here where I'm sitting, well, mostly standing up, but it's just over there to the side of this desk. And yeah, entirely home done. Nice little setup over here though. Just close the curtains, soften all the acoustics as much as you have to. Not that you have to much when you're recording death metal vocals. But yeah, all done here from home over the course of a couple of months this year. But the recording process goes much further back if we want to take it back through, the development of the songs and working things out. We record demos and kind of rough takes of the sort of outline of the songs, and that would help us with refining vocal structure or changing entire songs around and changing entire song structures, because you record it, you listen back to it, you get to know the songs in a more intimate way, almost, or just a different way than when you're focusing on your instrument in the practice room. So we would record, we would go listen, we would go and refine and change. A couple of songs on the album have been through quite a brutal rearrangement over the years, and it ended up with something that we're convinced with. We know that these songs are now, as we've taken them to their logical conclusion, I guess. But yeah, back to recording vocals right over here. One of the things that's you've got to be aware of while recording extreme metal vocals is your neighbors. And this is not a soundproof room. This is not a soundproof studio. This is my home. And I'm actually going to take my webcam over here and just point you outside, so it's still, I think, light enough to see. But can you see? Oh wait, hold on. I'm going to turn off the blur your background thing. Let's turn that off. There we go. All right, lovely people that just open my wall down there, and children, and the kind of people that generally probably would not be interested in hearing screaming at 7 o'clock in the evening, so around about this time. So I'm recording vocals, and to my knowledge, all of my windows are closed. Turns out they weren't. So I've got my curtains shut, but the windows behind the curtains are wide open, and I am screaming. I mean, like belting it, like full on screaming, and doing the same verse again and again. getting it right. And yeah, this shit is going out to my entire neighborhood. And yeah, thankfully managed to not receive any complaints. But I mean, people must have definitely been quite disturbed. So anyway, just thought I'd share that funny little story. This is about 3-4 months ago. So.
Probably thought someone was getting
Well,
murdered.
lucky neighbors.
Lucky neighbors, yeah.
Yeah, they get to hear a preview of the album before anybody else. I mean, really.
Exactly, right? Yeah, that's what I said.
So yeah, let's actually pull this back to the conceptualists of the group, if you will. Justin, tell us a little bit about the album. I mean, obviously, we're talking doom metal. There's a lot of variations of micro genres within doom metal nowadays. Most of the genres, all the way up to funeral doom, tend to deal with concept albums when it comes to releases. How has the process been conceptualizing this album? Do you have a theme that's running through the entire album? What's been your thought process going into this?
Yeah, so the music has been written over roughly 10 years, as we've said, and with that, there have been a lot of emotional events in our personal lives and thoughts that we might have had, and all the human experiences that go with such a long period of time. We've really tried to encapsulate and fit into the stories that we want to tell, the emotions that we want to express, and that's really it. I wouldn't say that there is a singular concept. This isn't us telling a specific story as opposed to a series of stories. And the album's called Apart, and that word in and of itself really captures the emotional space which we are in. We're trying to speak about the melancholy, the isolation, the frustrations, the sadness, and that's really at the core of the album. Within the album itself, there are some personal stories in there. There's some 100% truths that we're speaking about, things that have happened in our lives, and some things that are more broader than that. Just a general story about something that we wanted to speak about. When it comes to the songwriting process, it normally goes, I mean, I'd say 9 out of 10 times I'll write the music and then I'll pass the songs on to the rest of the band. And if I haven't written lyrics to a song that I feel really strongly about, I generally will have a feeling or an idea, and then we'll speak about it. And the lyricist otherwise is Malcolm, and he then adds his wonderful penmanship to everything and expands on it. And we collectively discuss, and we tweak and we edit, and we come up with something that befits the music.
How's the process been between you and Malcolm jumping behind, like back and forth with lyrics? Because I imagine it would have been tracks that would have been more closer to completion, that the final tweakings were the final nitpickings that you and Malcolm were kind of bouncing back and forth with it. So how was that? Are there any more recent tracks that you guys have actually worked on that didn't start a decade ago?
Well, I think the first point to speak about is the fact that in this band, we're really lucky that we're all really close and been friends for many years. So when one person goes through something, all of us do. So it's quite easy to tap into that common emotion that's going on. And when we have to speak very little for the other to understand what someone's trying to convey. And Malcolm and I have got a long relationship when it comes to making music together. We've been in other things together, like the League of Doom, and also Ryan as well, and everybody that's involved. So we know each other quite well when it comes to that. So it's really easy to to get into that headspace and to be creative that way. But we have also, to answer your last question, we also have been working on some new things, which we don't necessarily want to share at this point in time. Yeah, the creativity never ends, man. Once we finished up this body of work, it didn't mean that we stood still and we're happy and put up our hands and stop the train from going. There's always things to do, and even these songs, going through these processes, you come up with creative ideas. You think of different ways. It's art is never complete. It's something that you're always thinking about and you're always wanting to look at, and when it evokes those real emotions, as you change, the emotional response changes as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, I think with that in mind, I mean, let's try segue from the studio to the stage, because a lot of the creativity that ends up being translated into the studio comes from inspiration that gets brought on through moments shared on stage. So I'm going to ask you this, Ryan. Doom obviously is it's very stripped down, but it's very tonally about focusing on individual notes and the emotion that those notes actually generally give. But I mean, one of the other core unspoken things when it comes to it is the visual appeal that goes with the music to try to translate it. In your opinion, how important is this visual image that you guys have tried to create with the whole Orphean Passage project live on stage? How important is that to you guys to have a strong visual image when it comes to the live show?
I think it's important to evoke more than just one sense with art, and you just have more to work with, right? We've been working hard on the album artwork for this album, which needs to speak the same message as what the album in its audio form is trying to get across. But in terms of our live show, we have amazing lighting work courtesy of Patrick, our other guitarist who's not here with us tonight, who already gets it's great having someone in the band like that who can control the lighting and create the mood of every song through that medium. But aside from that, we try and let the music do the talking.
You guys definitely have a very cohesive feel when it comes to the live show, though. It's when you see a band that's working on the same frequency the whole time, where it's almost, I never like to mention the band Rammstein in conversations like this because it's not relatable, but in terms of a synchronicity amongst the band, that's definitely something that I've noticed with Orphean Passage. I guess I'll hit this next question up to you again, Ryan. In terms of practice, how has it been with the practice runs leading into live shows from back then, but more specifically these last few shows that you guys have been playing? How much practice has been actually needed? How frequent are the rehearsals? All that juicy stuff.
Yeah, you got to stay sharp. We're practicing twice a week at the moment. It goes through phases. So that sometimes we've got to put that energy into working on the album. Other times you're putting that energy into improving your live show. So yeah, it varies from month to month or time of year to time of year, depending on what we need to prioritize. It's never going to be the same thing. But we keep the communication clear and we plan things out months in advance. We don't want to. We're not the kind of band that's going to be gigging every weekend, kind of thing. So we go through periods of like, okay, well, we're going to knuckle down and work on new material now, or we're going to work on finessing, finishing, and improving an album. Or we're going to be, working towards our next live show, and that will vary from every couple of months to couple of months kind of thing. So yeah, we're practicing. We're practicing a lot and sharpening up because we want to put on a good show and make it worth the while of the people that are going to come out and come to see us.
Oh yeah, we will get to that shortly. But I'm gonna ask you this, Malcolm, just because, as many people know, you are quite the guitar enthusiast, quite the collector. Um, are there any go-to guitars that you use specifically for Orphean Passage live that just speak to the music more, in your opinion?
I don't think any specific guitar that speaks to the music, because I have guitars that are, some are more and some are less personal to me. Let's say, rather than the specific style that I'm playing. Obviously, I have a variety of guitars that are for Orphean Passage particularly. I have played 2 guitars consistently for every one of our shows. We use 6-string and 7-string guitars live. I always have spares of each. For the 6-string, I use an Ibanez Darkstone, which is my all-time favorite go-to, unbelievable, incredible guitar. I couldn't believe I found it. I didn't even know it existed. Found it on the off chance one day, fell in love with it. I picked it up, was like, I had this instant connection, had to buy it. And I use her predominantly. She's featured at every live show of ours. And then for the 7-string stuff, I use an Apex 2 Ibanez, which is a wonderful instrument. I have others, but we're going to see. Maybe there's some surprises in the future.
Excellent. Well, you guys managed to recently have a little bit of a private, intimate gathering, kind of, I guess, a collection of like-minded souls down in the southern peninsula of Africa, down in Komiki. Actually, ironically enough, where I grew up. But yeah. So this live show, this has been a little bit of a trend that Orphean Passage has kind of been doing since the reboot with the new name, at least. It's who came up with the idea of doing these intimate gatherings, still with the full show, but on a much more compressed level. Who came up with the idea for these little shows?
Well, I think the important thing these days when you're putting on a performance, and I guess always really, is to offer something different for people to attend and enjoy, because it costs a lot of money right now to go out, and a lot of time and effort. And if you're gonna invite people to do something, you want people to do something different and something they're going to remember. And we come up with some crazy ideas sometimes. Some of the ideas never see the light of day, but we're never afraid to try something new and different. And putting on a private, intimate sort of show just felt right for the kind of music that we make. Sometimes you want to go mad and you want to headbang, and sometimes you want to just sit down and enjoy. So I think it gives you much more room to be flexible, and you cater your own personal performance as well as how you can decorate in the venue, and you make it fit the mood that you want to create. I don't think we could have planned a better evening for it, because as it happened to be that on that Saturday was the night or the day of this crazy waves where the storms went mad and the water was rushing into buildings and into restaurants and all that kind of stuff all through along the coast. And we were looking outside from the balcony of the building, seeing the waves really, really, really high, and it's the sky all dark and stormy. And I was thinking, pretty fucking doom, right? So sometimes the powers that be make it work too.
always good with a little bit of the added aesthetics to add to the mood. So yeah, I guess while we're talking about weird and wonderful escapades that Orphean Passage pursues, let's get through to the meat and potatoes, which is why we actually are doing this chat, and we're going to hit obviously main man Justin up with this. 2nd of December is a big date for you guys, so let's first break down this venue for this album launch that is going to be happening. Where the hell did you find this venue? And yeah, just maybe you can elaborate on it.
So we're performing at what's today called the Homecoming Center, but historically, when I was growing up, it was called the Fugard Theatre. It's a really beautiful and old building in the middle of Cape Town, right around the corner from City Hall. And growing up, I had driven past and this beautiful stone building and seen plays there in my lifetime, and I'd always thought, man, one day it would be great to put on a metal show there. And never in my wildest dreams did I think that would be possible, or there would be any appetite for it. And well, I guess it doesn't hurt asking questions sometimes. And the stars aligned, and we were able and privileged enough to be allowed to host our event there on the 2nd of December. And to say that looking forward to it is, yeah, understatement. It's a dream come true for all of us.
Yeah, amazing locations, gonna set the mood perfectly. But I guess, yeah, in terms of the set, in terms of all the good stuff, Ryan, what can people expect from the album launch? I mean, as you guys have said, this has been a project of passion for many years, all kind of coming into fruition. So yeah, what can peeps expect on the night?
Well, it's going to be a night of doom metal. It's going to be, we play a sort of doom that's I think probably best described as death doom, although I think there's more to it than that. Perhaps something like symphonic death doom, but it's the songs vary from one to the next. Some of them are a hell of a lot more death metal-y than others. And we're going to play our new album, our first album, and it's going to be the launch of this album. So it'll be online on the night. So anyone who's far afield who's not going to be able to make it, you guys can be able to hear it too. We're gonna play it through, and we hope you guys love it.
Hell yeah. Malcolm, are there any tracks in particular that maybe you're more excited to jam live this time? Are there any ones that you haven't tested out yet by the point?
We'll leave that as a surprise for the people that are lucky enough to be in the auditorium. I'm always super stoked to play all our songs. I've got my favorites, obviously. My favorite song to play and my favorite song on the album are the same. So if you get a chance to hear, download, stream, or watch it at the show, Wounds Cannot Be Seen is definitely one of my favorites. Yeah.
Killer name. Killer name. Who came up with the song titles? Was that a group effort, or is that also like some of the brainchild stuff that comes from you, Justin?
It's a joint effort. Yeah, it's a joint effort. It depends on the song. Some songs are were my ideas, some Malcolm's. It all depends what suits the music. Yeah, one thing that I wanted to just dovetail onto to what Ryan mentioned is that coming to see a show at the Homecoming Center is quite a unique experience. Before, I think it's quite important to note that there's not been any metal bands that have been there before. And how often do you get to play a show or to witness a show in a Gothic cathedral-esque sort of environment? I think that is it's a massive draw card or something to see. Hopefully it can be repeated. Hopefully the listeners doesn't kick us out there, because we're not of the same caliber or quality of these prestigious names that have graced the stage before. But I think that is going to be something wonderful to be a part of. And I think the one thing that we always been incredibly proud of is the feelings and the feedback that people have told us as what it's been like to be at one of our shows. Feeling safe, welcomed, and a great space to feel those emotions, to express those emotions, the full wide range of that, and to be a part of that is going to be quite something special.
Indeed. I believe there's still a few tickets that are available. We will include the link to the ticket. I believe it's Quicket that's doing it. So
yeah,
buy with surety in mind. But yeah, so I figured that let's as we start to tail in this awesome conversation, because basically nothing needs to be said except for the fact that there's an album coming out. It's called Apart. It's coming. It's going to be showcased in its entirety, I imagine, come 2nd of December. It's a special gathering. So, yeah, I mean, obviously we're in these times now where things have been a little bit chaotic, as it's been basically since the pandemic. It's always been one thing after the next. Music has always been kind of a healer for me, at least. Personally, it comes at times when you need some form of solace. So I asked each member of our guest panel tonight to kind of just give me 2 selections of albums that they've been listening to. Doesn't need to be metal, doesn't need to be doom, it could be whatever, but just something that's speaking to them, that's giving them a little bit of inspiration, basically what they're listening to. So yeah, I guess, we'll kick it off with you, Malcolm. What have you been listening to lately? What's been inspiring you?
Surprise, surprise. Paradise Lost. I rediscovered it. It's an album from 2017, and I went back to it, and I was like, damn, this album just kills me. I love it. And then the last full-length release by Strigoi, which is called Viscera. It's everything Valenfire was, with a whole extra dollop of drama, and it's been kicking my ass for months. I love it.
Oh yeah. Right, what about you, man?
Okay, since we're talking metal, let's stick to that. I'm gonna also go with the 2017 album, Immolation's 2017 album is ridiculously good. Atonement. It's like it is perfect death metal. It is just perfect. So if you're into death metal and you haven't heard Atonement, the Immolation 2017, just do yourself a favor and sort that out for right now. That's been on repeat a lot. Want to go to Doom? Still, I would say in the last recent times, Shape of Despair's. The last one was amazing, Return to the Void. But I would say the 2015 album, 2016, thereabouts. Monotony Fields, perfection. Like melodic funeral doom kind of thing, funeral death doom sort of. Yeah. And then I listen to a lot of black metal, mostly like the sort of atmospheric side of black metal as well. Ruins of Bevrast is another recommendation I put out there. It's kind of doomy black. Exuvia. In fact, also 2017 album. Good year.
And you, Justin, What have you been
Yeah,
listening to, man?
A lot of Orphean Passage.
Yeah. So in this stage, my headspace has generally been focused on our own music, as you can imagine. But what going through periods like this, I tend to focus on things that I know, as opposed to taking in new stimulus, just to make sure that I'm focused on my own thing. But I have a band that I'm unhealthily obsessed with called Woods of Desolation. Been listening to The Falling Tide. That's their album from 2022. Black metal band, massive fan of them. People say the album's a little bit strange, this latest one, but I think it's one of their best. So that's definitely going to get a shout out from me. And an old album with a title which I thought was quite funny given what we're speaking about, of a band that I only recently discovered thanks to Ryan's recommendation. They're called Mgła, or however the hell you pronounce that. A Polish black metal band.
Sorry, Polish friends watching.
Yeah, sorry, Polish friends. And the album title is called Exercise in Futility, which I thought was quite funny given given the content of that. But those two albums have really been on repeat for me in the last 2 years. And
Yeah.
Here's some suggestions there.
Bad,
Yeah, we're going to try compile
way that you
these names.
spent a hell of a lot of time listening to your music as well.
yeah.
Oh, well, it's coming to an end soon enough, guys. So, yeah, 2nd of December. I guess, Justin, is there anything else that we need to plug? Where can people find you on social media, all of that good stuff?
Yeah, so there's a group of people that I'd really love to plug at this point is Paul Buffners. Without them, none of this would be possible. They have helped our band out tremendously, and they've been around before the Orphean Passage. Long after we're gone, they'll be there. What they do for the local scene is immense, and can only thank them. So
Basically, what they're doing is they're matching the beautiful cathedral arch aesthetic with a whole bunch of cool sound.
yeah.
They really stepped in and sorted us out quite nicely. It's awesome. Thank you.
Yep. And in terms of finding us, we are on all the social media platforms. So Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, everything. So yeah, you can find us on there. And soon you'll be able to find us on Bandcamp and Spotify and all the rest of the good streaming things.
It has been a long time coming, guys, but finally we're approaching the day. So yeah, we will be including links to where you guys can get tickets to the show, where you guys can stream, and yeah, just make sure that you guys stay on top of it, follow them on all their socials, and yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining. It's been great catching up. Feels like every time we speak, we get one step closer. So yeah, it's good to see the finish line in the horizon. But it's just the start of then a new chapter. That's how Doom works. It's only just like pages in a book.
Slowly. We like to do things slowly.
Indeed. Well, yeah, guys, we're going to be calling that a night. Thank you once again to the members of Orphean Passage. This is only a fraction of the guys there are really, when they say they're like a family, they're not joking. It's quite a massive project. So make sure you guys get your tickets, follow them online and all that. We will be back hopefully shortly with another guest for another MMD chat. So make sure to like, share, subscribe. That all helps. And yeah, just take care of each other. Keep listening to all that good music, and we will catch up with you soon. Keep rocking, guys. Thanks.
Cheers.
Thanks.